Hello and welcome to the Dream ChaseHer podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. You guys, we are back for a brand new season. This is the place where hopes, dreams, and money-making businesses are realized. I'm so excited to be your host of not only the podcast, but also the conference where we help women just like you to manifest your dreams. You guys, we are in for an amazing time this season. I have some amazing guests, some things that God has put on my heart to share with you that I know is going to help you in your next journey, your next phase, and what you're doing, that idea, that business, that goal that God has put on your heart. I believe that dreams do realize, and that God gives us these dreams, not for them to stay in our head, but for they to come out into the earth so they can impact someone else's life. So I want to get right into today's conversation. The theme for the conference is Go For It. I was in Trader Joe's a few months ago, and they have some really cute cards. They got their diversity game up and everything. And it was this one card that stood out, and it was a brown-skinned woman who had these sunglasses on, and on the sunglasses were the words, Go For It. And out of all the cards that were there on that wall, that was the card that stuck out to me the most, because in that moment, I believe that God was telling me to go for it, to host this conference again, to put back into what I had on in my notepad, to start going after it. And so I have a feeling that it was not only me that needed to hear that message of going for it. So today I want to talk about what keeps us from going for it. What keeps us stuck? What keeps us going around in circles, coming back to that same point that we were last year, saying that we should have, could have, and would have. And so as I recount my own journey and as I talk and coach with women, the number one thing that has us stuck is looking for a model when we are the original. We hear a lot about being creative and being yourself, but I believe that when you are being yourself, that is how you are original, because there's no one like you. There's no one that thinks exactly like you. And how about this? There are some dreams and some ideas that God has given specifically you. So as we carry out these dreams, as we move forward, the way that we can get unstuck is understanding that we do not have to follow a specific blueprint. We do not have to follow exactly what the other person did to get to where we're trying to go. We have to be so in tune with God and what our original ideas are that we tune out everyone else and everything else and understand that you are on a unique journey of your own. That's right. We can't have time for comparison and thinking about how what they use to get started and what we should do next. No, it is really about you just honing in to who you are, finding your voice, understanding what makes you unique. And when we do that work in that space, okay, we are able to get unstuck and just go for it. Because we're not trying to do something that we've seen someone else do, but we're doing something that has been placed in our heart and our mind by God. And I believe that is how we can get unstuck first and foremost. I was thinking back for even myself on so many occasions. I think it is a natural cycle. Let me at least say this. When we have an idea, we have a dream, we're all excited about it in the beginning, we write it down on paper, and then there comes a point where we have to execute now. And in that moment is usually the fear of failure, the fear of other people's opinions that keep us stuck. We're like, dang, what if it doesn't work? But then the question we should ask ourselves is, what if it does work? And then understanding that failures are a part of the entire process. And so I always say this, that honestly, running business is like an experiment. business is really a science, okay? Because there are some things that you will try and it may not work at all. And then there's other things that you will try and it will just, have such great success. And sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to it. So again, that goes back to my point of just going forward and not worrying about how to follow a specific blueprint, a specific roadmap, because God has possibly given you some unique instructions, some instructions that are different. And so again, going back to the thought of what keeps us unstuck is the fear of failure and the fear of other people's opinions. And I love to always ground myself in this thought. And it's that I'm not for everybody. Your business is not for everybody. Your services are not for everybody. And so the fear of people's opinions, those persons that have those opinions, they're more than likely not the people that you are going to service. They're not the people that's going to click the link in your bio and go ahead and buy what you are selling. Okay? So I want you to just be encouraged by that. Those thoughts, those feelings that are very natural that we all get sometimes, it's just really a fog mirror trying to blind us from our next steps. But as we take one step forward, we'll see how, it gets a little clearer and we're more confident in what God has called us to do. Now, I wanted to take a quick second to talk about a person. If Go For It was a person, okay, I would say that it would be Miss Tabitha Brown. Okay, who loves some good Tabitha Brown? I mean, I'm inspired by this woman every time that I see her. I think that we can gain so much inspiration from her story, what she's doing, where she's been, and where she is right now. And so I'm thinking about literally 5, maybe 6 years ago, nobody knew Tabitha Brown's name, right? 5 years ago, nobody knew that she exists. And so let's sit there for a moment and think about how we are doing things right now. We probably feel unseen. We feel like we're posting this content. We're taking these pictures. We're creating these links and these web pages, and we don't even know if it's going to go anywhere. And so the word that God has given me that has really encouraged me over the past month is to trust the pace. Not worrying about things happening overnight, not worrying about things happening the next day. This is not Amazon Prime, okay? Your dream is not going to come Amazon Prime. It's going to be like that old school, horse and wagon. It's going to take some time to get from here to there. But I think that that's a really I want to say smart way for it to be done. Because if we're honest, we don't have all the systems in place. We don't have all of the resources and things that that need to be in place if we were to hit, if we were to go viral or make it to New York Times or, all of those prominent places. We would not be ready for that level of success. So I believe that God gives us this runway and we are to pace ourselves. Because remember, life, business, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So we have to pace ourselves so we can make it to a quarter of the way there, a half of the way there, and so forth. And as we go along this journey, we are learning something new. We are learning something new about ourselves. We are learning something new about the industry. And I believe that we are even learning something new of how we can challenge and see things done differently. And that is the beauty of time. That is the beauty of things happening in the cadence in which it should, and not according to how fast we think it should happen, right? And so, again, as I'm thinking about Tabitha Brown, I literally had to write down like all of the things that are happening in her life right now, which is, I believe, is fruit of seeds that were planted years ago. We see her now, but we don't see her then. And so I bring that up, still staying with the theme and thought to go for it. Because when we go for it, we think that as soon as we make that post, as soon as we launch that website, as soon as we drop the next collection, right? That we're supposed to have that sold out sign the next day. But no, over time, we will refine our processes, refine our strategies, learn our customers better to know what works and what does not. But again, I was going through Tabitha Brown's website. Miss Tabitha, first of all, 2-time Emmy nominated. She has her new hair care line, Donna's Recipe and Ulta. She's launched 3 collections with Target. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Okay. She has her Tab Time children's show on Netflix. She's brought in 34 new vegan items to Target's brand store. Okay. And as I read all of this, the last thing that I want to leave you with as it relates to her story and how it connects to us and the going forward is that in all of what she is doing is that she is being original. She is being true to herself. And as we go for it, I want to ground us in the thought and understanding that we have to know who we are, what we stand for. So when we begin to be able to expand and go into different territories, do different things that are outside of how we initially started, it is still rooted in the truth of who we are as a person, as a brand, and what we stand for. I think that's why Tabitha gets so much love, in that she is so true to herself. She is true to her faith. She is true to her nutritional journey, right? As a vegan, she is true to herself as a Black woman, how she represents and wears her hair natural and all of those different things. She is authentically Tabitha. And so I want to challenge us as we go forward to be authentically ourselves. And you will see that tribe, that customer base being attracted to you because you are rooted in who God has called you to be. And so I'm really excited about what is going to be ahead as we, again, stay rooted in ourselves and as we just go for it. Can you just, if you're listening to this, maybe you're watching this on YouTube, can you just put "go for it" in the chat? I really want you to be inspired to begin to start wherever you are. Begin to start. And I just want to close out our time together with this one scripture. It's from Matthew 17, verse 19. And this still, again, ties into the thought of going for it, because most of the times we don't go for it because we feel like we don't have enough. We don't have what it takes. But this verse says, then the disciples approached Jesus privately and said, "Why couldn't we drive it out?" "Because your little faith, that's why you couldn't drive it out. For truly I tell you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will tell this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." So I want to encourage you, whatever amount of faith that you have, use that, muster that up, and go for it. Take your first step. I don't care if maybe you already have a business going and you're thinking about launching something new, a totally different product or service. I don't care if you're working your 9 to 5 and you're like, you have this burning passion inside to really start this nonprofit or begin to consult on the side or begin to, really go into your passions of fashion and figure out how can you leverage that. I want you to use the faith that you have to go for it. All right. Well, Dream Chasers, I'm really excited about the episodes to come. We're going to have some guests on the show where we'll be able to have some dialogue together. And I really want to highlight just some things that are happening with the Dream Chaser Conference. Are you looking to reach new customers? Do you want to put your products and services in front of new people that can possibly purchase from you and really help you to expand your brand? Well, we know the power in social media. Actually, TikTok specifically, I was reading a Forbes article and it shared how TikTok itself, it right now has more than 50 million daily users. And between 2018 and 2020, the number of users grew 800%, meaning that there are a lot of people on TikTok that can come across your business. And so that's exactly why I decided to have a session at the Dream Chaser conference, really helping us how to leverage TikTok and social media platforms. So we're hosting the Captivate Your Audience to bring in the cash on TikTok. Christina, she is a TikTok pro, and she's going to really help us to take away all of the burden, all of the anxiety sometimes of creating content. And the thing that is great about TikTok that I have been able to learn is that it's all about short format. So it doesn't have to be these long, lengthy pieces of content. These are something that can be consumed easily. So once you learn the formula, it's easy to apply the theory. So she's going to help us with that at the Dream Chaser conference, because it's all about making your dream realized, yes, but you know what? You can't sell a secret. So we have to figure out different creative ways to get our products and services in front of new faces that can expand our brand. So that is one thing that you can look forward to at the Dream Chaser conference. If you have not registered already, then sis, what are you waiting for? There is a community of women who are on the same journey that want to partner with you. So be a part of the community, come network, come learn from industry experts. I'm all about getting my time collapsed. What do you mean by that, Jen? In that when I learned something from someone else that would have taken me maybe like a whole year or a few months to learn, like I am collapsing my time. That means I can get to the finish line a little quicker than if I'm trying to YouTube it myself and trying to learn these things on my own versus just getting the knowledge and wisdom of someone who is an expert in that area. And so that's why we're bringing all of the experts to the Dream Chaser conference so they can share their knowledge, their expertise with you. And I'm telling you, these women are really passionate about seeing you win. So if you're not registered, make sure you go to dreamchaseherconference.org to secure your spot today. Now, thank you everyone for tuning in to today's episode. I'm looking forward to the episodes to come. I'm going to have some guests on and we're going to have great dialogue that's really going to give you not only the inspiration, but the information that you need to see your dreams realized. So thank you again for tuning in. I'll see you next week. It's Jennifer Hammock here, excited for you to go for it and pursue your dreams. Peace out.